Welcome to Game of Roses. This is Pacecase.
This is Bachelor Clues. And it's time for Fantasy Suites. This is my favorite round of our beloved game, the second and final round of the playoffs. The two men that emerge from this round will be the finalists. Unfortunately, we didn't get that rose ceremony.
Fortunately, we don't know who those two men are, Clues.
Not
They
yet.
didn't give us shit.
We'll see it
They tricked
tomorrow.
us.
Or as you're watching this, we'll see it tonight as probably whatever the first 15 minutes of the Men Tell All. And they've done this a few times before, where they
They got
drag
us.
the Fantasy Suite rose ceremony out until the Men Tell All, trying to tease us into watching that episode. You don't have to tease us. We're going to watch it anyway. Just FYI.
We're going to watch it, and we're going to be less happy.
That's not true.
I just like to end with, I feel like I got teased.
For sure. And it seems like they're
Who's
building some
going
false
home?
drama, etc. But this is an all-important
They
round
already
of the game.
built false drama. They made it look like Marcus was going to self-eliminate, and he
I know.
didn't.
God, I know. Some horrendous play tonight.
I got
We can
excited
simply
when
say
I
that.
thought he was going to self-eliminate. Nope.
For
Still
reasons
in the
that
game.
you can find out yourselves if you just Google Marcus Schoberg allegations. Let's move on, shall we? Jumping right into this. There are two guys who have credible allegations against them of variety of for a variety of things, different natures. And they are two of the three finalists here in Fantasy Suite, which is kind of hard to believe. Now,
And then the third is only accused of being too sexy.
too sexy and coming into the show as a mummy. We're going to get to all of that. Whenever you're ready, Pacecase, shall we begin?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. This is Game of Roses.
Game of Roses.
All right, we start this Fantasy Suite round with some kind of horror music score. It's dramatic, it's intense, and we see a drone shot of the resort they're all staying at in Hawaii. Then we see Devin is crying, talking to DLP. She says, I make her feel some... I'm already like, wait, what's going on? DLP is coming in. Devin's crying to him, basically saying that he needs to feel loved. He needs to feel like he's the one, not one of. And he ITMs that you can love someone and they cannot love you back. He can't do it anymore. And Devin pulls a knock on Jenn's door, seemingly self-eliminating. Now, in prior episodes, when they throw in these little tidbits like this to open the show, which I think is a great idea, it's perfectly done. It's the first scene of the third act of your program. So you get to see this and then see what the fallout is from it. Today
Exactly.
we saw... This
we
is the
didn't
last
even go
thing
past
we see.
it.
Exactly.
We didn't go past it.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Okay.
Hard on the
Clues
viewer.
and I were talking about the Devin drinking alone scene that he ends up talking to DLP as well. They're giving him kind of like a Shining edit. He's like living this horror film where he's going to this bar and he's alone and weeping.
They should have had DLP as the bartender. And then they should have made a river of blood.
That
come
is
out
a
of the
missed
elevator.
opportunity. He absolutely... he could have worn his little... his green velvet suit
Dressed him
from
exactly
the Emerald
like the
City.
Shining. Devin emerges into a corn maze and it's snowing.
Yeah.
He's carrying around an axe. What's going on here? All right. My apologies.
Anyway, I loved this teaser. I was hooked right away.
No, I was too. Needed to know what happened immediately. And so we begin. Portion 1. We open on a shot of a shirtless Hawaiian man blowing into a conch shell to signify the opening of the sexual ceremony, the second round of playoffs of our beloved game. And this conch shell blowing man was my Jorge Moreno, bystander of the week. A rare honor that they're going to open the show with a bystander, essentially commencing this ceremony. And I absolutely love this guy. It was an honor for him, I'm sure.
This man with big conch energy who was strutting his stuff as the first shot. That's where you statistically probably get the most eyes.
That's true.
Maybe 5 minutes in, I don't know. But he was also my Jorge Moreno, bystander of the week. Not a lot of choices. The only other choice I could think of was a person holding the light over the sea creatures.
Well, there was also the donut saleswoman. She came in a close second for me. We'll get to her. This is Fantasy Suites. They are taking place on Hawaii Island. The island of Hawaii is the youngest and largest island in the Hawaiian chain, nearly twice as big as all of the other Hawaiian islands combined, from Wikipedia. We see waterfalls, lush greenery, a sea turtle, almost my creature of the week, but I think you know it wasn't. I think you know what my creature of the week was.
Obviously, we didn't see its skeleton.
We see here Jenn is ITMing as she's I love Clevelanding the resort as she's walking in. She's excited. She's going to get engaged here. She explains that Fantasy Suites is the round where you're going to get intimacy and time alone with the guys. Physical intimacy is an important part of a relationship. Now, the Fantasy Suites, traditionally speaking, yes, you can have that physical intimacy. Some people have done it very openly. Hannah Brown. I did have sex and Jesus still loves me. In a windmill 4 times. She also mentioned that. Caitlin Bristow famously had sex with the great one, Nick Buyout, before Fantasy Suites. It happens. But it doesn't have to. Fantasy Suites can also be
It happens not often.
Yeah. Fantasy Suites can also be about just talking through things, asking who you voted for, what your stance on certain social or political issues.
It can also be about, one starfish, one sloppy hand job, one etc. It can be anything you want it to be. It's your fantasy. They did something here that bumped me a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
She's listing the names of the 3 guys left.
Yep.
And it feels like they've ADR'd the names together. I'm like, they don't have a clean audio of her listing the top 3 people?
Yeah, there was a lot of Frankenbiting in this episode. I forget what it was. There was one shot where she is delivering a 5-minute monologue that is played on B-roll. And I'm just like, what is going on here? It wasn't 5 minutes, but it was probably 15 seconds, There was definitely a lot of Frankenbiting this episode. And that is usually not a great sign. It's usually a sign that they don't have enough in the actual footage and the actual production that they shot to make a good narrative, that they're having to kind of bolster whatever they're trying to build here by piecing together statements that no one actually said.
We then get not a council of crowns, but a council of one person who could have been a crown, but turned it down in order to get the second ring of Jason Mesnik's season, Molly Mesnik. I thought she was so good at this.
Oh my God.
She was like a fairy godmother. She felt so for TRR,
Yep.
so on board. She was like, we'll see you when you get out. It felt so supported.
Yes. She needs to be hosting a show like this.
Right?
I know DLP has the gig right now, but if any other network is looking for a host of their incoming reality games, she blew me away at how 100%. Good she was at doing this. I was just like, oh, Jesus, she's a natural. I mean, I guess she's been hosting radio shows or whatever. Is that accurate? Or I don't know.
She at least
hosted the group date. Doesn't she do some kind of podcast or something like this? Or a radio show? Maybe I'm crazy, but
does she have a podcast?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But she was very fantastic at this, and I love to see her.
One of my favorite parts of this episode.
Yeah, I love to see the Mesniks getting their free Hawaiian trip.
We see Jenn summarizes all of her guys. She basically wants everyone to open up to her, and
they all kind of have the same thing she's looking for, and that's another sign that this is not going to be potentially a real exciting, dramatic Fantasy Suites. She's basically just like, yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to them one more time. That's basically what she's saying with all these guys.
I feel like she's saying, I am looking to extract some love level 4s. She's the love level 4 collector, and she's going to get them. She's going to be a great night for breaking hearts.
And I would say that one kind of important narrative thing that happens here is she does explain that Marcus is also still there. He was a front runner in the beginning of the season, but he's taking too long to get to the love level 4. So he's not per se a wall kind of complaint here. It's more of a time complaint that she's there. She's at love level 4. He's not yet. And so we also don't know if she's going to whip that out on him or not. And ultimately,
she does.
We see this shot. We see all these guys as she's talking about them, pondering, walking the island. We see, for some reason, Devin is playing golf with DLP. And then we also see that later Marcus was. I did too. I think he probably...
DLP was like, what about this, guys? I like to think he pitched it. What if I do these? Like, emotional support king, but we're on the golf course.
Yeah.
I literally was looking at him at one of the later scenes, and he was so tan, and I was like, DLP is glowing. He is living his best life.
He's just drunk, wandering the island on the golf course. They're like, okay, Jesse, we need you to have a brief conversation with each of the three guys.
There are some other people who have signed up.
Yeah,
he's like, no.
My tee time's at 9 a.m., so just send him out to the 10th hole. I'll be there.
Just get him some clubs. Yeah, it's in his rider now.
I'll host the show, but every fantasy suites I get to play golf through the whole fantasy suite. So we see Devin here while he's playing golf. They're just driving some golf balls into the ocean. And we see Jenn is talking about how she's never had a guy like him that who gets her so much. And after meeting his family, she feels closer. And he love level forward. She's not sure she's there yet, but she falls harder every time she sees him. So it's kind of a lineup of who's at what love level and which love levels she's expecting. And then we see Devin again tell her that he needs to hear that love level 4 from her, or how can he propose? He brings up the cheating PTC again to kind of corroborate the need for this. And Jenn throws out that she may be self-sabotaging, which is a problem for her in the past, and that kind of comes up throughout the season and throughout this episode. And Molly finally ITMs. She hopes the fantasy suite round gives her total clarity. Portion 2 begins.
Wait.
Yes, please.
Molly gives Jenn this pump up talk after Jenn is like, it's too good to be true. And she's like, she shakes her. You deserve someone amazing, someone that's going to make you a better person for the rest of your life. You're deserving of all of that. And don't do that. And I produced my only tears of the episode.
Oh.
Molly got those. She extracted Pacecase tears.
Wow. We'll have to put that
I thought it was so supportive. Yeah.
Yeah. I did not cry at one moment of this. Portion 2 begins. We see another sea turtle. Pops his head up above the water. This was not my creature of the week. A lizard on a leaf. Strutting his stuff. Throat fan out. Exposed in the grand act of courtship. Was not my creature of the week.
Throat fan.
I mean, they were throwing creatures left and right. All creatures that could have been creatures of the week.
I wrote about 20 creatures.
God damn. But the creatures of the week were stunning. Devin is driving in the back of a car. He ITMs that he loves her, and he played his love level 4 back at the hometowns. He wants to believe it's him, but she's not giving him the reassurance he needs. He needs the love level 4 from her before he can propose. Interesting strategy here. Look,
I do think this is an interesting strategy.
Absolutely. Trying to force a love level 4 from the lead, from the crown. I don't know that we've seen something quite like this before. We've seen make me stays that are like, I need some sign, some reassurance.
Yeah, some sign, or like kind of an ultimatum.
Yeah. But he's going to go hardcore. I need her to say, I love you. I need her to play a love level 4.
Yeah. If she doesn't love level 4, I'm out. I'm the victim. I mean, his victimization in this is incredible.
He's a great player. I mean, I know there's allegations.
He's the most charismatic one on the screen.
Putting his allegations aside, just watching what he's doing on the field here, this guy has turned in a season that I don't think anybody expected from him. He has dodged multiple villain edits, dodged multiple tattles. He's in the fantasy suites. It's unreal. First guy to love level 4.
This is what I was thinking about with our digging deeper. We heard Molly talk about the real things the producers thought and who they thought Sam M was the clear front runner, and that Devin kept getting in a lot of fights, or they said one player kept getting in a lot of fights. But then she's like, oh, he's in the final 3. Didn't say anything about that though.
Nonetheless, we see Devin pulls up and Jenn is standing in front of a helicopter. This is going to be a get to the chopper date. No hooju here, just a hug and a double kiss. She tells him.
And what's up, baby girl?
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a line from one of his rap songs. She tells him they're going for a helicopter ride over the island. Hero score swells as they fly away. Jen ITM's being able to see her and Devin taking their kids to Hawaii one day, a future familial vacation fantasy. Pretty interesting. She also says she's close to being in love with Devin. He's giving her love and support, the likes of which she's never seen, and she worries about self-sabotaging. So we get that narrative in their relationship. In the chopper, they talk about how Devin goes, "It's crazy how blue the water is," and then Jen goes, "It's crazy how blue your eyes are." And then he goes, "They're not blue."
I love this.
I was like, what is going on?
They were allowing some weird little lines into this episode that made it feel really real. They did that with Jonathan as well. And I'm like, I like when they do that.
I do too.
They make out. They land at this waterfall. A beautiful rainbow.
Yeah, a little bit of rainbow play.
Almost a full circle.
This rainbow was my rainbow of the week. Thank you.
Me too. There was another one, but it was much worse.
Was there? Oh.
Yes.
I didn't see it. This is the only one I saw.
I think it was on the Jonathan date.
Yeah.
Devin lifts her to make out. They drink champagne. He kisses all over her hand, and she bites him. Chomp, chomp. They make out. His chemistry game is incredible.
Well,
like, this felt feral to me.
Is it? You want to know the total kiss count?
Let's go to the numbers.
This is for... Do you want to know everybody's for Fantasy Suites?
Sure.
This is total kisses across all dates. The day portion, the night portion, and the morning after. I'll do them in order. Devin is in third place with 22.
Oh,
Marcus is in second place with 30. And Jonathan is in the lead with 32. I don't know what this means. If it means anything
I think that's
exactly.
the order. I think that's the order.
This is a metric that I have just started looking at in our data, and I believe we have this data back to season 1. So I do want to start looking at Fantasy Suite kiss counts. I think it may mean something. I'm gonna look into this.
We do
it
have.
may mean something.
I have suspected that means something, and I have always suspected they give the ring winners the most kisses to make so that you're rooting for them the most. But I didn't see Jen bite anyone else.
Right.
And that's ferocious love.
That is ferocious love. That's hungry love. Starving love.
It's starving.
Yellow Jackets love.
What is this? Love is blind? They go on a beach picnic and they talk about family, and he goes into this like movie speech about how he's not looking for the extraordinary, because for him, he didn't grow up with like a normal family. So a normal family for him is extraordinary. I'm like, he knows they have the same kind of familial PTC. And so stuff like this, like, I'm just like, this is so good.
I agree.
He's like,
with
you don't know
100%.
movie theater Devin.
Yeah.
He's
and
great.
Now he also
I can't wait to get back to work. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. I just want to go
Unrelatable.
To the kids. I want to go to the kids. I want to go to the movies with the kids. I want to go to the grocery store. He's future casting these very like day-to-day activities, saying, I get that this is all a fantasy made for you and me, but he wants to get back to the real world. He's saying this can work outside of this.
We should play that song at the beginning.
Component of this. What's that?
We should play that song at the beginning of this episode.
The first lines of that song are helicopters, waterfalls, rooftop dinners, concert halls. This had helicopters and waterfalls in one damn date.
It was such a like classic Fantasy Suite episode.
Yeah,
I believe we saw her making out in the water. Like, to me, that's Fantasy Suites, is like a man lifting a woman up in the water making out.
Yeah, Devin
and
gets
maybe
that
near
shot.
A waterfall.
Devin gets the submerged makeout. He also ITMs that he needs the big L word. He needs those sacred words. He's making it very clear. And we cut to a kind of generic casting card. Are you ready to come on The Bachelor? Find out. Now, I will contend that you begin to see the stellar play of Devin here on this day portion. He has already said in ITMs, even in ones that they're cutting into this, he needs to hear the L word. He could have tried to extract it in this conversation, but he doesn't. He knows the timing is wrong. He is talking about basically like telling her all the things that you just mentioned. It's these little moments, and that's why he's here. He even says to her, I've never felt this way before. She's like, it's hard for her to accept a good thing when she sees it. She knows he's a good thing. It's scary for her to lean all the way in, but she's trying. She's on the way there. And he's like, that's fine. She essentially is playing a preemptive sacred word defense.
He says, you're worth the wait.
Yeah, exactly. Where have we heard that before? This defense works, though, and it signals to him, don't ask me to say it. I'm on the way. Don't ask me to say it or I have to kick you off this show. That's essentially what she's putting out there for him, and he is picking it up, at least here. We begin.
But he is in the ITMs waiting for the big L.
Yeah.
And the way he strings together this, we don't have like a word really for it. We have a sacred word defense when you're like, love really means something to me, so I don't want to say it. This is a sacred word offense. Yeah, and it's like, I am at a higher love level than you. You need to get there. Like, I feel like we haven't really seen this.
We haven't.
At least not for a while.
It makes like kind of total sense. The way he's putting it out, like you hear it in some of his later stuff where he's like, I can't propose to somebody if I don't think they love me. That is completely rational. Yeah, there's no way you can kind of go against that, And so for him to ask her that,
it's for TRR.
Totally for TRR. And the nature of the game is such that leads don't usually say it until the finals. So he kind of can understand that if he puts this, version of an ultimatum out there, maybe the last thing he does. And so he's notching it down. He's like building it up, but he's notching it down. I just loved everything he did this episode. Portion 3 begins. It is nighttime of Devin's
I think he is like kind of playing oblivious to the fact that people don't love level 4 until the end.
Yeah.
Like,
he's trying to make
it's kind of like an obliviousness of the process thing.
I think it's a not caring about the process. It presents itself in my mind as completely for the right reasons. I don't think it actually is, but the presentation is done well enough that is what's conveyed. That he's like, I don't give a fuck about this reality show. Am I marrying you or not? I love you. Do you love me? And that's like the only thing he's concerned with.
We see the next portion. They are both in white at the dinner. And
this is at the Fairmont Orchid Hotel. Journey into the heart of Hawaii Island at Fairmont Orchid, a luxury oasis where the aloha spirit comes alive, nestled along 32 oceanfront acres on the Big Island's majestic Kahola coast. Explore world-class beaches, underwater marine life, which we're going to see later, in our private bay, and lounge under palm trees by the spacious pool.
Oh, I didn't know we got a sponsor.
In case you were thinking of going. Yeah, please send us free trips to your hotel.
We would love to shoot golf balls off of your green hill. Jen makes Devin do the cheers here, and he is going so love level 4 happy immediately out the gate. You're the reason I've been sticking around. I'm confident about us. She says I'm wanting to recognize it as a good thing, but I've been in bad relationships and I've never, been in a good thing, but it makes me want to run away. So she's kind of playing the walls here. And I wrote down. Can I ask you what he said here? You're waiting for the bang?
Yeah, the bang. Like,
what is the bang?
The other shoe to drop, the bad thing to happen, I think is how he was meaning that. I've never heard that phrase, but I think that was his meaning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought he meant that, but I was wondering if it was some phrase I didn't know.
There's a part where she goes, there's got to be something wrong here. And then I just wrote in all caps, just Google Devin Strader when they give you your phone back.
Oh, God. I mean, there were so many voiceovers where she's calling Marcus like extremely stable and all this stuff. And I was just like, it made this like episode really hard to watch.
No, it's very hard to watch because I do my best to kind of divorce, the stuff that's online about these guys, the allegations from just their gameplay. That I like to analyze the gameplay, but it is difficult because part of the game is how the producers present these guys. And having this knowledge, at least at this point, when the edit of this show is made, they have days before when all this stuff is kind of reaching a fevered pitch online. They can edit it however they want. I mean,
they literally had DLP call him an inspiration on the golf course.
Yes, exactly. Anyways.
Maybe he
Jenn
just
tells
meant
him-
about how good he was at golf.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all they're talking about. They just cut off DLP saying at golf. You're really an inspiration at golf. They just cut off at golf. Jenn tells him that he speaks to her soul. They have an ability to understand each other and so much more. Devin says that's why he's not scared to let her know how good it is for him. And he's said things that he might not hear back. He says that directly to her, basically saying, I've said I love you. You haven't said it back to me. He says he doesn't love people. Sacred word defense to some degree. He doesn't just toss that word around. So she says, so you're, I don't know what this even means. She says, so your love. Oh, she asks him, so your love, where do you see it going? And he's like, I'm ready for an engagement, precog. He tells her she's been
Love level 4 precog, so strong.
Yeah. It wasn't quite a love level 4 of him, though. He says, I don't really love people. I don't throw that word around. He never says, I love you. He's just, it's an implied memory of his love level 4 the prior game, I guess.
Oh. No, this is definitely a love level 4.
You think? He never says it.
I
like-
wrote here, love level 4 and ready.
All right. I don't know.
I mean,
I didn't take it as level 4.
maybe we'll go back
'cause
to the tapes.
I think there's a subtlety in what he's doing here. He's not, if you say it to somebody, they basically
He already
have-
did.
I know, but that first time, Jenn can get away with saying, oh my God, that makes me so happy. If he does it again and she says that, that ain't going to fly. You're out of the game. He is so careful because
I
he
think
knows
he
if he
is
takes...
doing that.
I don't think he is. It's in the language. I think he's saying these things that are like, look, I don't just toss the word love around. I don't love people. He's not saying I love you or I'm in love with you, Jenn, because if you do that, you force a commensurate response. And if it's not I love you too, that's the end of his game. He knows that.
It's the accoutrement on his love level 4, but it's bringing up that he did a love level 4. To me, saying, you know how I love level 4 you is love level 4. But
I see. All right.
I mean, maybe we'll go back and look at the tapes for the stats.
We'll
We
have to
get
do an
the
extra hour on Zoom to really get to the bottom of this.
I know the post pod. The one, oh my god, the one that we do over golf.
Yeah.
We get this fantasy suite card, and Jenn calls it a magical key. And he says for a magical night. OMG, Clues. This is Clues coded.
I wrote, Devin reads the sacred invocation and holds the magical key to initiate this round of dark sex magic. That's essentially what it is.
Dark
It's
sex
like,
magic.
it's a very ceremonial presentation of like, and now you have reached the time you must decide to have sex for all of our entertainment or not. And of course, they do indeed. They get some kisses. They agree to do it. They walk in this fantasy suite. We've seen a bunch of different kinds throughout the years. This one is a hotel suite. Very nice. They walk in, and Devin is ITM. He's got one goal of getting married and having kids with Jenn. She's the girl he wants to spend the rest of his life with. Does another cheers to a sneak peek of what their life could look like. A couple more kisses here. And
he says,
ITMs.
More excited to spend this moment with you as long as you live. I was like, what do you mean as long as you live? Is he going to kill Jenn?
Yeah, that was a blown joke opportunity on her part right there. She could have reprised her "Is
As
this
long
where I
as
die" joke that she used
you
on Jeremy
live.
10 times. That's a Jer Bear joke. Painful memories.
I'm going to outlast you.
That's probably true, just statistically speaking.
R.I.P. Jer Bear.
Devin ITMs that tonight he could get the reassurances, and this is the biggest stepping stone. A little kiss. He ITMs he's not going to leave anything on the table, and then we get a shot on them on the bed of them making out, and Devin finally we have a drone shot of the resort at night pulling out. No implied consummation here at all in the night portion.
Lights on.
Lights on, no sign hung on the door, no shirt being thrown off, no Polaroid pictures of you with chocolate all over your face on a sheet or on a bed covered in rubber sheets.
Sounds
Season
like a
1,
nightmare to me.
Amanda Marsh. Portion 4 begins. It is the morning.
Next portion, we find out that that's not true. Devin says, you look like a happy girl, and they make out, and she ITMs that that people say he looks like Pete Davidson, but he is better than Pete Davidson in wink, wink every way.
Yeah.
She's saying he has a bigger dick than Pete Davidson?
And that he's funnier than Pete Davidson, and that he would have been a better match for Ariana Grande and who's he dating? Kim Kardashian for a minute? I think
Oh, yeah. At one point.
Better than Pete Davidson in every other way.
Such a good quote.
But yes, I think she's implying that he has a larger penis than Pete Davidson. Now, Jenn Tran has really established herself, I think, as the most penis and balls focused Bachelorette in the history of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mind it. I do too. I might also mention that the first shot we see in this portion is an orchid in full bloom. This is a sexual reference, a post facto consummation implication, in my opinion.
The consummation were all flowers in this episode. I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, she's in full bloom.
They toast to the future, to us. They eat breakfast on the porch. She sees the real future more. Hope it gets you out of your head a little. And they kiss. Bye. Love you. And Jenn goes, okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. You can kind of get away with it there because it's like you don't have to then answer like, are we now going to go to a fantasy suite or not? It's like that's all happened, and he can be like, goodbye, I love you, one final play.
Interesting.
And she can, especially when you're leaving to go to the next fantasy suite, you can
he's
cut that
stacking
clean.
those love level 4s.
Yeah, but this, again, he's just a brilliant player. This, to me, is the only time you can, again, play your love level 4 and not really see any detrimental effect because she's got to leave now. And that just lingers.
Right.
It's with her, goodbye, and that's it. And then he ITMs here. It's unfortunate not to hear it back. He says he's given everything he can without hearing it back. He needs to know he's the guy. He doesn't want to keep saying it. If she's going to say it to somebody else, it would crush him. Waves crash.
We hear
into
that
the
line
rocks.
over and over again. I don't know if it's something he's repeating or it's the same clip.
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I think he said it a few times, and they're repeating it many more times than he actually said it. I also think, I don't know this. This is just what I'm getting out of the edit. I think she's going to crush him.
Oh, absolutely seems like she's going to crush him.
Yeah, I don't think they're giving him this, it's going to crush me, if they're not going to crush him.
Yeah.
We then cut to, later in the day, fantasy suite number 2, Jonathan. It's a When in Rome date. He walks the hallways of the resort, ITMing that he's excited. Excitement is an understatement. After the hometown, he love level 3'd her, he mentions. And she did it back. Jenn doesn't know her depth of a... Jenn doesn't know her to the depth of a fiancé, so today he wants to get deeper and have fun. Jenn pulls up in a brown Jeep. Hug, no hooju. Get a little kiss here. Jenn ITMs that they started on a slow burn, but they're both at love level 3 now, and she tells him she has a surprise, a fun day planned. She ITMs that they're going to hit up some markets and try some foods. And she ITMs
She
that
drives like a maniac because she's used to those California freeways.
And then Jonathan ITMs that he's not the biggest sweets guy in the world, as she says, we're going to go eat these Hawaiian donuts. And we get some little joking about cheat days and stuff from him that I found pretty interesting.
I love this.
Bringing his hardcore fitness routine front and center. Jenn
Because we just
6
looked at his
donuts.
Instagram, I was like, oh yeah, there's so much like fitness and like what to eat kind of things. And I did like they were giving him a little bit more personalization, having him like fixated on this, I thought.
Yeah, it's like, come on, dude, you can
Worth
eat a
a
donut
cheat
or
day.
two. They buy 6 donuts.
Jenn gets a
from this
ton
woman.
of donuts. She's going crazy. They go in a little spirit guide shop, and he cleanses all her sins with some sort of rock.
They also
and
do some
they fight
important
with
food play.
Ooh,
Lady and the
what
Tramping a donut,
kind?
feeding each other donuts. The feeding one another sweets is time-honored tradition. The double eating, the Lady and the Tramping, time-honored tradition. This was no Vial eating a
How
beignet,
often do you do this?
Lady and the
Food
Tramping?
play. Yeah.
I tried to do it with Skabulian 2 nights ago with a piece of a pretzel.
I was thinking you probably do it with Skabulian.
Yeah, I tried to. We don't eat the same foods. Unfortunately, we just have different taste in foods, I think.
That's tough. That's not compatible with food
Have you
play.
ever done it? Have you ever Lady in the Tramp?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. I'm going to start doing it more. That's fun.
Might as well make it the only way.
I'm going to do it when no one is expecting it and they have some food in their mouth, and then I just like take it.
Yeah.
Like a bird.
Just eating. Somebody's about to put a piece of pizza in their mouth and you just bite it out of their hand.
Yeah.
Yoink, that's mine. Eat it all down in like 10 seconds.
I would say I'm not very good at sharing food.
Yeah.
In general. So this isn't my instinct, but
Yeah.
I'll
It goes
share
against
other
mine as
people's
well.
food.
They drive to that market and they Lady and the Tramp a drink as well. We see they pick up some stones and joke about cleansing their juju. Then we see a beautiful neon-colored lizard on the desk licking up some liquid as it stares directly into the camera. And this gorgeous serpentine lizard
Into
getting
our
drunk on the
souls.
spilled droplets of Jenn and Jonathan's Hawaiian drink that they just Lady in the Tramped was not my creature of the week. Can you believe that?
No.
A drunk lizard?
No.
Jesus.
I didn't even see this one, but there were so many good creatures in this episode. Jonathan leads this cheers to us. No, Jenn leads the cheers to us, the same one she did with Devin. And they get in their swimsuits. They make out in the water. Next portion, bird, sunset, fantasy suite 2, Jonathan's dinner. He says, I look like a scrub compared to you. I liked that little moment. And tonight she wants to talk about the future, etc. They talk about hometowns and how close his family is. And he says to her, I love your confidence. And Jenn makes a big smile when Jonathan says he loves her confidence, thinking that she's got a lot of confidence. That was my face play of the game. She was so shocked. And she says, I never really saw myself that way. And she does this PTC about her upbringing, about being the only Vietnamese student and not fitting in and having a lot of self-hatred. And Jonathan says, I'm sorry you went through that. That sucks. LOL.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. Sorry, bro.
I like that sucks as a response.
Yeah, it was funny. I wrote it down too. And she's like, well, I don't do that now, though. And I want to make sure that I can help my kids celebrate themselves and what makes them unique. Jonathan then says he learned Vietnamese. He learned how to make all of the food.
Love that.
And the family would love him. He would love to have a mixed household. And he talks about his own mixed heritage. And he says he wants to pass that pride of who they are down to his children, to be confident about their identity. And he tells her she's so freaking incredible. That sucks.
Such
but you're
good
freaking
future
incredible.
casting.
Yeah. And he says he came into into this process with an open mind and heart, but he didn't know he would be playing in Love Level 3. It's all so real, and he can see it. Kiss, kiss, kiss. She pulls out the card and key. He reads the sacred invocation of dark sex magic. They both agree to spend that night together, to forego their individual rooms. Who's staying in Jonathan and Jen's rooms when they forego those rooms?
I don't know. Other hotel guests?
I don't know. Just a question I had. Kiss, 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 kiss. Jonathan ITM's another Love Level 3 load here. They get another kiss. They head into the suite. It's a nice hotel room once again. Jen ITM's that Jonathan let his walls down and leaned into his feelings. And I was like, did he? Kiss, kiss. She ITM's that the dinner convo made her
I think it was the conversation about the, mixed kids.
Yeah, that was his walls. He had mixed kids' walls.
Yeah.
She ITM's that the dinner convo made her think she can spend her life with him. Kiss, kiss, kiss. And we get a final wide shot of their room pulling out as the light goes out. This is consummation. So they gave it to us right away with Jonathan. They had sex. That light goes out. That sign goes on the door. That the morning after, the participant skips
We get
around
a consummation
town in
bird.
Finland in an orgasm montage. These are all signs of consummation.
We get the third part of this fantasy suite, the morning portion, and they are like, oh, it's great waking up together. And she gives one of maybe the quote of the episode. She goes, "I can't believe I'm in bed with the mummy man from night one."
This shit made me laugh so fucking hard. Because it's like,
me too.
it really, look, say what you will about limo exits and hooju's. Some people think they are kind of superfluous panache that doesn't really mean anything in terms of your game. This, I think, confirms it does.
It's not true. Statistically not true, but yeah.
What's that? What's not?
It's statistically not true. Your limo exit type does matter.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it does statistically, I guess. But I mean, like, Standy is, or Blandy is the most statistically common, and it's the one that, in quotes, does the best. So I don't know, because you also see things like JoJo Fletcher in a full unicorn head, and she becomes a Bachelorette.
There are only, like, a few successful Taut entrances, period. It's JoJo, right. It's Claire, and it's Jonathan.
Yeah, that is pretty accurate. And so you're seeing here that even the morning after, they have just consummated this relationship with Dark Sex Magic. She's still saying, your limo exit was stupid. That is tainted like the whole relationship. I mean, whatever. It may just be a joke with them if they wind up getting married and having kids and whatever. But in this moment, that's supposed to be kind of...
Oh, no, I thought it was funny.
It was hilarious. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying, I don't think that's what you want the Bachelor or Bachelorette to be thinking about the morning after. In my opinion. You
but
want
maybe
that
they
line
did
about...
Mommy play.
we
don't know the context. That's what fantasy suites are all about.
It wasn't just a joke for me. I need to put on the face wrap if we're going to do this. Like, I need to. You understand? You got to be cool with it.
I have a mummy complex.
He's like, let me slip into something more comfortable. And comes out of the bathroom covered in toilet paper. He just wrapped his whole body in it like a mummy.
I'm a never mummy.
Yeah.
He's wrapped like a mummy under like his pants and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
They have a beautiful room. They bring their coffees down to this waterfall, and it's kind of a generic summation of it. We got a lot of clarity. We have confidence. They toast to their path, and we get this music that changes the tone immediately. Villainous music, I would say. This is The Shining. And Devin is pondering, and he's slamming his hands into each other. And he says, I left my date with Jenn feeling less of myself than going in. I'm giving love and not getting anything. I'm the option. I've been the safe bet. It's triggering his heartbreak PTC. And we cut back and forth between this implosion of Devin and Jonathan and Jenn making out.
And that's pretty much, that's a time-honored editing strategy in Bachelor. They do this almost every season. They will cut from, they give the first fantasy suite usually to the person who's going to be the most affected by having to wait the longest. And then they will cut back and forth between that person now wondering what's going on in the next fantasy suite and what's actually happened, which is always making out.
It's
unless
kind
something
of
goes
disrespectful to the makeout, I would say.
I agree.
We're ruining Jonathan and Jenn's romantic moment.
Yes, but Devin is becoming the main character of the episode.
He is.
And this is where we for sure see it happening. He's got the teaser in the beginning. He had the first fantasy suite. He's got a bigger dick than Pete Davidson.
This?
And now...
Do you think he knows he's third place and that's why he's doing this? Like he's going home?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know how measured he is as a player. Like, I don't know where he falls on the scale of 4 TRR versus 4 TWR. I suspect it's more 4 TWR. I sincerely do. I think he's playing this to be playing this. God, I could be wrong.
Right.
But
you would never really be extracting a love level 4 after 2 months, generally. Yeah. We then see, this is one of my favorite shots of the episode. Devin goes and sits on this white chaise in Birkenstocks, and he ITMs, I want to feel like... I don't want to feel like this. I want to be made whole. And we see these pieces of Devin just shattered. The pieces of Devin that are left sit on the chaise pondering, and we see Jonathan and Jenn just ferociously making out. And we get to the next fantasy suite date. Mark.
Well, we see Marcus here is now he's playing golf with DLP. They're driving golf balls into the sea. And I'm like,
Love it.
he had to have played golf with all three of them. And they're just
100%.
cutting this in whatever. So where is the Jonathan Golf tapes?
Ooh.
Release the Jonathan Golf tapes.
Uh-oh. Maybe they'll play it in... shit. No. It's cut.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't good.
I think he would have gotten it had Devin not been playing what he was playing. Because Devin ate up a little bit of his fantasy suite date. That could have been the DLP golf.
Oh, that cut up his golf time. That sucks.
I think so.
I love the golf one-on-ones because it feels much more natural than to like sit staring at someone having a conversation. It feels much more natural. They're focused on like a third thing talking about it.
And I think this idea of having some activity that Dark Lord Palmer can do with the players during fantasy suites around to get their kind of like, where are you at? How are you feeling going into your fantasy suite? I think they should keep with that tradition and do increasingly more interesting things. I would love to see them chopping wood with axes. I would love to see them playing Xbox or something like this. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of different things I think
the wood chopping.
Yeah.
The video game is fun. Part of why I love the golf is because you're like, oh yeah, they are on a vacation. They're not trapped.
Sure.
Even though they are, except for the golf and the dates.
Yeah. I would like to see them just both inexplicably washing
vacation.
a car together. That would be interesting. Shirtless. Slopping
It's just like
soapy water on each
father-son
other.
moments. They're playing catch.
DLP's teaching him how to shave.
He's teaching him how to put on a tie.
If you're listening, producers, these are free ideas.
If you're
Please
still here.
implement as you see fit.
Please feel free.
Okay, Marcus says he's got to figure out a lot of things. She love level 3'd him, but he thinks she's ahead of him, even though he also love level 3'd her. He doesn't want to miss somebody incredible sitting right in front of him. And Marcus has this big kind of thing here. He's ITMing. He's not at love level 4 yet. He needs some kind of epiphany. And he tells DLP it's going to be wrong to get on one knee without clarity. That's why this fantasy suites round is so important to him. And DLP says literally, what do you need to see or hear from her? Spell it out so we can tell the producers to try and make her do that thing. And
Yeah.
he says he wants to peel back the reasons as to why she's chosen him throughout the journey. So he basically
Interesting
needs
response to that.
more confirmation from her that she's into him, I guess, or why she's into him.
And then we get the inspiration line from DLP. You know how much of an inspiration you are, right? I mean, seriously, you've been through so much. You deserve to be happy. You have no idea. Empathetic king. Even while golfing.
They must have taken away DLP's phone during this season 2 because he ain't been on the internet in a minute if he's telling Marcus he's inspiration. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Based on this edit, do you believe Marcus and or Devin will be asked about any of these allegations at a tell-all or an after the final rose?
No.
They're sweeping it all under the carpet.
To me, there's no evidence in the actual document that anything has happened.
Yeah.
I know some people were saying that they're like deleting Marcus posts off of the Instagram page or whatever, but
Interesting.
I'm looking at the document. The document says hero inspiration still.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem that hard to cut one line.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just, in the face again of the LA Times article that came out right before Jen's season, where all of the big executive producers of the show said, acknowledged basically, we did bad in the past. Season 25 was a disaster. We are going to be better about representation, protecting our leads, et cetera, et cetera. And then the very season they're promoting with that article turns into what is shaping up to be one of the worst scandals maybe in the history of Bachelorette in terms of the allegations against Marcus. And they're just not going to address it. I don't get how, I mean, not that we could ever really trust any reality show franchise, but it just seems like it kind of invalidates everything that was said in that article, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. And that, like, they have the lead's best interests at heart.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
they didn't protect Jen at all. And, like, I think, like, because the allegations are so serious, it's like they don't want this to blow up into a scandal even more. I don't know. Like,
But this is the exact same thing they did with Matt James' season of Rachel Kirkconnell. deny until it got to this huge fever pitch and almost sank the entire franchise. It's like the only thing you can do in a situation like this, the correct move, I think, is for the franchise to come out immediately as soon as it starts reaching that kind of like critical mass and say, we didn't know about this.
Put DLP in front of a crash site set and say, this has come to our attention. We just want you to know we filmed this before we knew all this.
Exactly. Just rehire Dark Lord Harrison for one short little thing to shoot right in front of the show. They put it right at the beginning. I'm so sorry.
Dark Lord Harrison.
Give him some grace. Look, everybody was doing these things. Millions of people do this thing every year. And then they can refire him. Yeah. At any rate, I just, from this edit, I was like, whoa, we're not ever going to hear anything in the main document about Marcus's allegations.
I agree with you. It's really disappointing.
I agree.
And I'm like, what, are you trying to get people like Michelle Young back? Or no, you're just like, we'll make some new people that'll, I don't know.
But this is like, the allegations against Marcus don't have anything to do with like racist behavior. It's something much worse in my opinion.
But Devin's a racist.
I agree. And that is taking, in my opinion, backseat to the allegations against Marcus. Those seem like, they're just scarier, frankly. And it's like, who is going to leave Bachelor Nation because of this? What crown are you now going to lose, or multiple, that like you run the risk of everyone turning their back because of these types of allegations? Like, if you don't address this,
and you already have people turning down the lead.
Yeah.
You already have people turning down the lead, and now like you're going to be like, oh, they barely vet the people coming on the show.
It's not just barely vet. Like, that is a forgivable offense. I will buy that, like, you're casting 30 people in a show. You can only really look so deep at any of them, and you do your best, and you hope for the best. I would never begrudge any casting person that's casting 30 people to come on a dating show that, like, you need to know everything about their background. Could they do it a little better? Maybe. The real damning thing is they knew about this at some point and did not tell Jenn, and are not doing anything to try and address it. That to me is like the kind of unforgivable thing. But it's like, that's the game plan, And it might work.
So
it might work. This story might not get big enough for anybody to really like, cry out.
I don't know. Is it in Us Weekly? Like,
not yet.
I don't think so.
I don't know. But that may also be part of their strategy. I don't know what kind of control they have over the journalists at Us Weekly and People. They might be able to disappear this, at least in terms of like the internet at large. Right now, this is relegated to Reddit, and that's it. It's like, once it leaves Reddit, then it's out there. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I feel like Marcus is in the final too, so I don't see how you avoid it, and so I'm very confused with what is going on.
Me too.
And we saw the Men Tell All promo. It doesn't seem like anyone's addressing anything, but who knows. We then see, after this scene with our empathetic king and his inspiration, we see Jenn Tran in an incredible, gorgeous outfit, like a pink bird on black. I love this outfit. Marcus is wearing a black t-shirt. Jenn loads love level 4 for Marcus. Oh, I wrote here, that's a love level 4 extraction outfit for Jenn.
I agree.
Saved it for the Marcus one. And they make out. She says she has a special date for him. This man, this poor man. I'm sorry. I know we were just talking about this, but they are putting him in all of these, every single harrowing date.
Yeah.
He cannot relax for a second. I mean, snorkeling can be a little harrowing. It's not a very relaxing thing. You're not getting to know them.
Yeah,
it's at night, so it's cold.
Yeah. They kiss so much.
And we just heard about what happened with Blake Moynes diving,
Yeah, exactly. You can black out.
Can't underestimate the ocean.
It can be very dangerous. Marcus makes a joke about putting on lipstick because she put on lipstick for no reason because they kiss so much it's all over him, and she's like, you should just start wearing lipstick. I thought that was a funny joke. She ITMs that she's excited to be in his arms, and she feels fun and flirty with him. She tells him that her dad won a trip to Hawaii on the internet when she was 3 years old, and they make a joke about how, like, back in the day, internet contests were real. They weren't spam.
Jenn tells him that she wants to be a mermaid, and he says, you look like one, and I agree. Yeah. And he says he's just being in the moment during the date in his ITMs. He says, I know it was going to feel real and feelings can be terrifying. He's closer. We're not seeing a love level here. And then we see at sunset, they go snorkeling with the mantas, and someone is carrying a giant light, and this giant manta ray that was majestic and awe-inspiring was my creature of the week.
2 manta rays athletically swim underwater with underwater acrobatics as they chase fish. And these beasts of the deep who lent their unbridled majesty to Marcus's fantasy suite date were also my creature of the week.
I like how you were like, I wrote simply this. And then it's like...
That's why I was like, Jesus Christ, I wrote a whole paragraph. I'm like, what is going on? Sometimes the game takes over my body, and I simply...
They were crazy. Crazy
They're
creatures.
Skeletons.
I feel like you could see inside their mouths. Maybe it was just the roof of their mouth, but it looked like a skeleton.
Gills or something. Yeah, I don't know. The photography.
And one of them
was
looked like it was
fantastic.
attacking Jenn.
Oh shit!
It was gorgeous.
Release the manta ray attack tapes. Jenn ITMs.
I don't know.
That he makes her feel at peace, and she's reassured. She hopes their relationship continues to grow even more, essentially again implying I need that level of before. They resurface just in time to see a shooting star, supposedly, and Jenn delivers a full eye and mouth aperture expression of baffled surprise at this celestial event, clearly marking this union of 2 people as destined and fated to be together. And this faceplay was my faceplay of the game.
What if she is seeing the first alien?
First alien.
Think about that.
I watched a long video last night with
Great.
Lou Elizondo, the guy who was the head of ATIP, and he was basically just like, yes, there's aliens. We don't know what they are. We don't know if they're from space or the deep sea or something else. And humans have psychic powers. Some humans do, and the military's training them. Like, I mean, there's wild shit going on. So yes, I believe it was the first alien. This was no shooting star, ladies and gentlemen. It was actually me.
That's
she
classic
saw me astral
ATIP.
projecting. Yeah, I was flying through.
That
the
was
astral.
Clues.
I waved at him. This is how I get
Jenn, don't
This is
do
how I get
it.
spoilers. I astral project to the bachelor dates while they're happening. I'm doing remote location to find out where the bachelor's shooting. All right.
I knew we'd see you in the document. Marcus calls her a sexy Ferrari and toasts to how he's so happy. Jenn, I loves that. She says, how you doing? He says, nervous. The rose ceremony wasn't easy for me. And he brings up the rose order for why he was basically having a PTC. I realized it's for the first time, it's not a given that I'm going to be here. And that I can be, I might still go home. And it was kind of hard for me to recover from our date in Seattle. I shared a little bit about, my upbringing. And when I'm proposing, he's kind of using his PTC to do a love sacred word defense. His childhood was so hard. He wants it to be like a certain loving family. And that's why he's not certain about Jenn.
He goes on to say there's so much potential right now. There have been a lot of things that have aligned with them, and that he's never experienced these things with anyone. And he tells her she's driven and ambitious, and he never met anyone like her. And he's like, and I think, and then we cut to his PTC about having doubts and how much he wants to get right with his relationship and raising a family. He's not, or cut to his ITM, sorry. He's not in love with Jenn right now. and he's scared to tell her that. Back to the one-on-one time, and he's like, why I'm worried is that I feel unsure, and you deserve someone that is sure about you. He's just like digging this bizarre hole. He continues saying he doesn't know if he's putting pressure on himself because of how fast the process is or how quickly the end is approaching, but it's been hard for him to get to a point where he feels comfortable saying that he's in love. And this anti-love level 4 was my error of the game. What
it was also my error of the game. I thought he was self-eliminating.
I did too. And by rights, he should have been. He got very
And he
lucky.
might have been.
You think?
I have a conspiracy theory. He was self-eliminating, but then Jenn says there's many layers in love, but I would be lying if I didn't tell you that I am in love with you. And Jenn, love level 4ing Marcus, bringing him back from the brink, was my play of the game. Maybe it is a conspiracy theory, but I do think he is trying to get out of the game. And I think she pulled him back in. She said, "You will not be self-eliminating, sir. I am the Bachelorette love level 4ing you. You have to stay."
Yeah, I saw it interestingly, I guess, different than you. I saw it as a contender for error of the game. I think if
Jenn's love level 4.
Yeah, I think if you're in a position of a lead and somebody, you're like, love level 4 me, and they go, no, bye-bye, that gives you the right, the authority, and the ability to dismiss them without looking bad. And she could have annihilated him in a beautiful fashion.
She love level 4s him, Clues.
I know. I saw it. That's why I thought it was an error. But I get what you're saying, too. It does wield like a certain control over the game to be like, no, we need a TV show, and you're one of the main characters now. You're staying. So, I mean, it's at once kind of, I think, an error and a powerful play, depending on what her true goals are, I guess. I don't know. This was a mess. All of it was a mess. And
if I'm the lead, I don't want anyone self-eliminating.
Right.
I want to be the all-powerful.
This wouldn't be a self-elimination. This would be a kickoff. This would be a, look, I know how I feel about you.
I know, but I think he's trying to self-eliminate.
Be gone. No, she could have eliminated him, though, I'm saying.
Oh, for sure.
And done it in a powerful way. She's in control. Is she in control? I don't know.
Is she? I don't know. But after she love level 4s, he produces tears at the power of her play.
I know. She got him.
And he says he's trying hard. She's like, I know it's hard. I want to make it easier for you. So you're confident it's something special and you want to jump in. He says, you make me feel amazing. Love level 1. Unreal. And
he's all the way back to 0. It's night 1 for him, basically, again. It's unbelievable.
You look beautiful tonight. You have butterflies.
Yeah. I'm starting to feel something.
I really feel like she pulled him back with this, and we pull out the card, and they both agree to this fantasy suite, which is stressing me out. I was hoping he was self-eliminating.
This is also a nice fantasy suite, by the way. It's a tree house. This one is not a hotel room, but it's this weird kind of tree house built out in the middle of the beautiful Hawaiian landscape. And they go in, and we pull out a wide shot of the tree house, and the lights go out again here. Consummation implied. Portion 10. Morning. We see the same thing. The guy is shirtless. She wakes up kind of on their chest. They laugh and say good morning. They're like, good morning. And the reason they're laughing here, I think of all bachelorettes in recent history anyway, Jenn has been the most transparent with her kind of tone when they're forced to do acting scenes. That shot we saw is not them waking up. The camera crew has to come in the next morning, get them all ready, then they put them in the bed and make them act like they're waking up every time. That's what they do with all fantasy suites. And so you can hear them kind of laughing when they're like, good morning, good morning. They know that is fake.
I mean, we'll never know. We see him say that they kiss and
Wait a minute. We'll never know. You think that shit's real? You think the camera crew is like, shh, be
sometimes
quiet.
I just
They
hope you'll
unlock the door.
miss things I say.
Yeah, they tiptoe in, they get all the cameras ready, point them all at the bed, and then they go, wake up! Oh, good morning.
I think they just did their wake-up gong at them. Yes.
Sure, okay.
We
They slide a plate of freshly made bacon under the door, and they smell it in their sleep. Oh, good morning.
Marcus feels a little more strongly. I think that's still love level 1.
It is.
And he's
It's terrible.
you know, this is the last time I might see you before the next rose ceremony. Want you to know last night was special. And there's something on your lip. And they kiss. He's like ending a lot of conversations with the kiss, kind of Sam M style.
Yep, I agree. He doesn't want to address what is real to him, I think, is that he's not in love with her and knows he will never be. But now he's in this weird reality show where it's like the producers are like, she's going to give you the time you need. Just stick it out. See how you feel at the end. You know, no. Because they know he's her first pick.
It seems that way. I don't know. She says, I need him to get to love level anything because we're meeting my family next week and proposals next week.
They say
and
goodbye
she
here.
wanders the grounds in a black silk robe as he watches off a balcony.
Yeah. Back at the resort, Devin Strader. Now, look, they have this whole season. Anytime something pops off, Devin is always the one going, I need a drink. And I think they've used that line in Frankenbiting like a million different times. But here we see him literally embodying this line. He is sitting by himself at a bar, a drink on the bar itself. There is no bartender. There is no one here. He has just apparently wandered into an empty bar and made himself a drink. That is what this looks like. And I loved it.
The Shining.
Exactly. He ITMs it, sends fantasy suites. He's all consumed, doesn't know how long he can love somebody and not get it back. He doesn't know what to do. He needs guidance. And then DLP appears from the dark shadows to meet him at this deserted bar. DLP doesn't get a drink.
I need a tan angel to tell me what to do.
Yeah, can you send me a tan man who loves golf and doesn't apparently want to join Devin for a drink? There's not another drink waiting for him. There is no bartender to give him the drink. He must simply sit and become dehydrated as he engages in this conversation with Devin, in which Devin tells him that he's been having tough thoughts. He was excited for the fantasy suites. This was the week he needed to feel the love back, all the love he's been given. He wanted to ask her if she loved him as much as he loved her, but he didn't because he didn't want to put the pressure on her about it. He says he loved level 4, and she said she can see a future with them. He didn't feel whole. He needs to be whole. He tried another love level 4 on the way out and got nothing.
Pieces
so he's
of
very aware of
Devin.
it.
He's in pieces. He ain't whole. The OP ain't make him whole.
Not even DLP can make him whole. He says he's withering away. He doesn't know what to do.
Withering away, so good. I love this drama. I love this, and like, it's just it's a very unique blaze of glory. I don't even know what to say about it.
I don't think it is a
He's
blaze
getting
of
DLP
glory.
on his side for his this victimization edit.
Yep. He's getting a very sympathetic victim at it. He plays tears here, so it's real. You know that. He says he can't feel her. He can't feel the feelings back to him that he's giving to her. DLP says he knows it's been hard. He needs to feel loved. He needs to feel wanted and needed. He wants to feel like he's the one, not one of, and that hurts. This is what we saw in the teaser at the beginning.
DLP also says, you give over and over. You always have. I laughed out loud. I was like, you always have? What?
I know. He's really pumping these
You're
fucking guys up. You have a beautiful body, Devin. You should get in there. He says he needs more from Jenn. He's not getting it. It's part of who he is. He's been hurt before in the past, and he didn't speak from the heart this time. He needed to hear the love level 4, and he regrets basically not trying to get her to play it. Finally, DLP hugs him and leaves, and Devin ITMs that it could be too late for him. He doesn't think he should be feeling like this. Devin gets this ponder shot as he's ITMing about it slipping away. His gut is disagreeing with his heart. He feels lost. He can't keep moving forward. And then we see Devin comes out of an elevator. He roams the halls of the resort. He ITMs that he needs to talk to her. He's scared, but he has to be brutally honest, and he hopes she can accept that. Now he's doubting himself. This is probably the end for him, and he's scared. He comes to a door. Knock, knock, knock. She answers happy, "Hey, Devin." And Devin's knock, knock.
She's so happy.
She's like, this is going to be great. Devin, she's wrong, of course. Devin's knock knock to end this entire Fantasy Suites episode was my
play of the game.
The entire Fantasy Suite episode was about him, and now at least the beginning of the next portion of it and the Men Tell All is going to be about him. And if he does get eliminated in that knock knock, he's going to be the star of the Men Tell All. He has basically wrapped up these 2 episodes at what I would say is probably the most crucial time of the season as the main character. It was brilliantly done, in my opinion.
I mean, it was. I was very stressed by this ending. I wrote mother effers in my document because, like you were saying, we didn't get past the opening timeline, which is unfulfilling. But I will never stop watching. So
of course, you got to tune in tomorrow.
Can't wait for tomorrow's episode.
Well, we see a little bit tomorrow on the night of the Bachelor. Tomorrow night on the Bachelorette. Sorry, we see the conversation with Devin and Jenn. Jenn says she doesn't know what to be, what he needs of her. Tears. Is it over? Plus the Men Tell All, and we see Jenn faces Sam down, and all the other guys are kind of jumping on Sam. Hakeem, it looks like they put another spider on him. He's going to be face playing all over the place in this mental. I can't wait for that.
Yes.
Grant is there, and the moment of truth for everyone. All the guys are fighting. Then next Tuesday, they say, is the finale. So they moved it off Monday night. Pacecase, you had
hate that.
A theory that it's because of Labor Day?
That's my theory, but you had a theory it's because of a practice football game, which I hope is not right,
maybe.
because that seems like another... after the DNC preemption, I'm just like, the disrespect that Jenn is getting from the scheduling is not making me happy.
I agree. People have watch parties, and now it's kind of a last-minute thing. The finale, the biggest episode of the show.
Oh, you were
is gonna be
planning
on a
your Monday
different
night watch party?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're stupid. Hope you're free
just
on Tuesday instead.
Yeah, there's a I don't know why they're doing this. Could be Labor Day, could be because of an NFL preseason game. I have no real idea. But
could be trying to bury the season. Clues suggested that.
Maybe. It may be a burial of the season because of some of these allegations against finalists that they just want to be like, no, let's just sweep this one away. We got Jones' season coming out in a couple of weeks. Let's focus on that. You got a new Bachelor. It's Grant. Everything's great. We have fulfilled all of our promises. Don't look here. You don't watch TV Tuesday nights, right? Put it there. I don't know. The Rose
You've
Quotient.
booked your whole week around something different, so this works out great.
Exactly. So also we should say that we have our watch parties at 33 Taps in Silverlake out here in Los Angeles on Monday nights. That finale ain't going to be there on Monday night, so neither will we be. We are in flux in terms of if we're going to be able to do it on Tuesday night or not. We will keep you posted as soon as we
are
know
hoping
more.
that it will still be on Tuesday night. As a reminder, Clues and I will not be there because we are watching it live. But Anya, our social media marketer, will be.
If it's happening. And again, we'll keep you posted on that.
If it's happening.
Pacecase, who was your MVP of tonight's big game?
For the main character energy, for getting the Bachelorette to call him Pete Davidson, but better in every way, to have a scene with DLP where he's the only one drinking, producing tears, doing this very strange love level 4 play that I can't remember seeing previously. Devin was my MVP.
Devin was also my MVP. For all of the reasons you mentioned, to be compared to Pete Davidson and then implied that your dick is bigger than his. I think is a feather in the cap that we haven't seen from any other Bachelor player. To get to golf
We
with
might see
DLP,
Pete Davidson respond to this.
we might. We very well might.
Sometimes it's good to invoke a celebrity, like that
Totally.
Love is Blind woman who said, people tell me I look like Megan Fox, and then that became a big thing.
That is true. There will be a million memes about it, at the very least. But for everything he did and everything he continues to do, just defying expectations and kind of rewriting really what you can do in this game with a variety of plays that are, the timing is just a little pushed or a little pulled. This thing with the love level, kind of like trying to force a lead into love level 4ing you before the finals. Just some real big swings he's taking. And if they don't work, like this love level 4 kind of, not an ultimatum, but he was trying to get her to do it and she didn't want to, he was also able to pull that back and stay in the game. Now, I don't know how this knock-knock's going to work out, but it's the only thing I care about next week. or tomorrow night, I should say.
I just think he is the most entertaining character to watch at this point in the game. I'm looking forward to Men Tell All, to finally figuring out whose play resulted in them being eliminated from the game.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
Well,
hard
we'll
to
see
call
that.
him when you don't have a rose ceremony, but
I know. Exactly. You don't really know the repercussions of the plays. You're just kind of going off what's most entertaining, or going off the edit, basically, who's getting more screen time. But we thank everyone for joining us for this recap. Tomorrow we will have the recap of the next part of Fantasy Suites and the Men Tell All out, so we hope you'll join us for that as well. And that's going to be our 2 episodes for this week. There will be no This Week in Bachelor Nation as a result of this back-to-back recapping that we're doing. And what else we got? Anything? We'll keep you posted on the watch party and how that's going to line up with the finale. And
yeah,
see you
and
next
we'll
time.
keep you posted on our schedule for Joan as well.
yeah,
We're going to be getting into that rookie breakdown pretty much as soon as the season ends. So
Yeah.
we'll look forward to that. And
I'll simply say this.
Sounds like it's going to be a good season.
yes. My astral projecting is telling me that Joan Vasso's season is going to be incredible. I can't wait for it.
Ooh.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you tomorrow.
Praise be Dark Lord Palmer.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us. And then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us. And then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us. And then